It's going to be really short, sweet, and to the point. As you can see, it's pretty much morning. I was a little bit tired for doing this, the Fastlane review, so I'm doing it now as quick as possible. But in the end, I'm just going to say this. This was an average pay-per-view of Raw. In other words, this was definitely a Raw pay-per-view. There's a few matches I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to go into the entire card, because honestly, there was supposed to be 8 matches on the card, but then there were 2 added later on, which made no sense to me. But I'm going to go into the potential great match of the night. And I'm not going to lie, I really was looking forward to this. And that was Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. I'm happy that Samoa Joe won. I'm happy that Sami did not tap out, because this could be a potential for something at WrestleMania. Now, even though that Samoa Joe is Triple H's destroyer, it could be a chance that he might be going up against him at WrestleMania and have his moment, which he should. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Let's go into the weird moment of the night, and that was the New Day. There was no reason for the New Day to be there, and it was weird for Big E to be literally licking the ice cream box that was supposedly supposed to have their ice cream bars in it. But I think they were pretty much supposed to hint to the audience that they were actually going to have their own ice cream, which I guess is okay. But the thing is, I don't know what was with Big E's behavior. I don't know whether or not he was just fooling around or if he really was high on something. I really don't know. But it looked bad. It looked bad on Big E's end. And it was a dumb segment to have. Or I don't know what it was. But it was something weird. But let's talk about the women's match. Now, the women's match was definitely average at best. It was not horrible. It actually was pretty solid. I'm actually somewhat surprised that they chose Bayley to retain here, but in a way, when I had to think about it a little bit more, I really wasn't so much surprised. They were teasing a heel turn with Sasha Banks for a while now, and it's a possibility that she might be our heel champion, which is, I'm okay with that. I really am. Now that Charlotte's pay-per-view streak is now over, and now that Bayley is the champion, all that is all squashed and done. Then Nia Jax is going to enter in the mix, which means that Nia Jax is going to win it all. She's going to have a shot in the dark. But Sasha Banks might be our heel champion at WrestleMania. And that's my overall prediction when it comes to that. And honestly, having Sasha coming out interfering, I guess is supposed to maybe add a little bit of fuel to the fire, if there is any fire there. I don't know. In my opinion, it really would have worked if Sasha Banks did not interfere at all, but had her just come out and congratulate Bayley, and then all of a sudden do the double turn. Well, pretty much do a turn for the, you know what I mean. That's pretty much what I thought was going to happen. That Sasha Banks was going to come out and she was going to congratulate Bayley, and then after that, she was just definitely going to turn on Bayley at WrestleMania, which would make sense because they took Dana Brooke out to the back. You know, Dana Brooke was not even out there at all, so it doesn't make any sense for Sasha to even interfere. That's just my overall opinion. It was just stupid for her to be out there. But moving on from there, let's talk about, in my humble opinion, I'm going to say this. I honestly at all did not care for the tag team match. Didn't care about it. Still don't care about it. I just don't. I like Enzo. Enzo has the potential to be a great talker, an amazing performer. He has that potential, but it's just to the point where he talks a bit too much. Now, it's okay to have a voice. It's okay to be great on the mic, which he is, but he talks too much. There are times that he needs to back down, and there are times he just doesn't need to talk at all, especially if you're going into a match. This was not an episode of Raw when you speak. This is something to where you're going for a title. So act like you're going for a title and don't speak and just take it seriously. That I'm just, all jokes aside, this is your first pay-per-view match ever. And of course it ended in a controversy, him putting his foot on the rope, but then somehow Luke Gallows, I think it would knocked it off. It was I think it was Luke Gallows. I think Luke Gallows did knock it off the rope, and then somehow Gallows and Anderson got the win. I'm tired of these matches ending in controversy, man. This is probably maybe the 4th time, and it has to stop. Seriously. If you want a match to continue, let the heels win clean, and then let them have their rematch, and then just build from there. Maybe. I don't know, but honestly, I think Enzo and Cass is going to have the big payoff at WrestleMania. That's my prediction right there. Now, moving on down the line, I really do believe that the shining gem of the night definitely was the cruiserweight match between Gentleman Jack G, or Jack Gallagher, and Neville. That was definitely the shining star of the entire night, because it actually not only showcased the strengths and weaknesses of both performers, it actually showed how far Jack would go in a match for the championship, and shows that he will literally go outside of what he stands for, or outside of his ethics. Well, not so much his ethics, but he'll go outside of what he usually does in order to get the title. Like, you wouldn't see him flying, like, at all. You wouldn't see him doing suicide dives. You wouldn't see him doing any of the high-flying stuff that cruiserweights usually do. And he's always mostly a technical guy. But he literally went far beyond the Call of Duty, outside of his comfort zone, to get that title. So I like what they did there. And it kind of showcased him as a character, how aggressive he can be to get that title. So they did a good job there. Now, moving on from all the other matches, I guess, do I really care about Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns? No, I don't care much about it at all. And the big rumor that Undertaker was going to come out and literally challenge Roman Reigns, that didn't happen. And I'm kind of happy it didn't, because it shows me that it's a possibility that that's going to be 86th. And I'm happy it would be. But I had a feeling that Roman Reigns was going to win. I just knew it. That was a given. I knew he was going to win. But moving on from there, let's talk about the big stinker of the night. There's probably a few matches that I'm forgetting. But I will say this, throughout the entire card that I did see, the entire card was pretty solid. It was still a bit of an average pay-per-view, but it was still pretty solid. But I'm going to go on to the main event. Now, anytime that Goldberg is on my screen, or I know that he actually is going to be in a match, I will literally take out my stopwatch and I'm going to hit the timer on the stopwatch, and I'm going to record the time of how long it will take for Goldberg to win a match. Now, there was literally 3 minutes of Kevin Owens distracting the entire crowd. Like, he was literally 3 minutes of stalling from Kevin Owens. Then there was a 1 minute of distraction from Chris Jericho. And then it was 2 minutes and 30 seconds that I clocked in from the win of Goldberg. Like, Goldberg did the spear, he did the jackhammer, he did the pin. I clocked it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I could be wrong with the math, who knows, but everybody might have a different number, but that's what I got. It was a 6 minute and 30 second match, but it was 3 minutes of stalling from Kevin Owens, 1 minute of distraction from Chris Jericho, and 2 minutes and 30 seconds from Goldberg in offense. That's all. That's the most pathetic match I have ever seen in my life. More pathetic than Brock Lesnar's match. A lot worse. Because Kevin Owens did all that boasting, saying that Goldberg was not ready, that he knew how to take him down, that he knew that he couldn't last in a match, and I was ready to actually see a match happen between them and prove how weak Goldberg is. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And it made Kevin Owens look like he was a complete stooge. He had the belt taken from him in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That is sad. It really is. Worst pay-per-view event. Not the worst pay-per-view event. Not as bad as WrestleMania 20. Oh, that was a stinker. Good grief, that was a stinker. But other than that, my overall thoughts is this. This was a very, very average pay-per-view that felt more like a Raw. The main event definitely fell flat. New Day's segment was weird. Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn had a massive amount of potential, and I believe that it does. The two matches that were added, Jinder Mahal and Rusev and one was against Big Show, one was against Cesaro. That could have waited till Raw, but all the opponents look good. But honestly, it could have waited. It really could. But I am hoping that somehow Big Show actually does have a match with Rusev and has the payoff that he deserves at WrestleMania by having a good match. And I'm also hoping that Rusev will definitely get his push at WrestleMania by beating Big Show. That's what I'm hoping. But as for Jinder Mahal, that should have waited till Raw. I'm sorry, I love Cesaro, but that should have waited till Raw. But I'm hoping that somehow this will be a new feud for Big Show, because we all know that Shaq bailed in his match with Big Show. So I'm hoping that somehow he will actually go up against him in his pay-per-view match, and he'll have an amazing match. I'm hoping it will be. But other than that, my overall thoughts, this was an average pay-per-view that felt like a Raw. And the main event definitely fell flat, and the potential matches definitely was the cruiserweight match, as well as Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. That's it for me, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me hear your thoughts about this pay-per-view. I'm out. Peace.